Right, I'm making this video here again. Okay, this is another video, everybody. Hi, talking about guns. This is not going to be a very long video. Okay, I'm going to make this fairly to the point. But recently I've been talking about guns, and I know that, certain friends of mine who are for guns and support guns, which even myself, I don't have anything against them as such. As in. A thing, and all of the good reasons that, a gun could be used for or whatever. I understand, right? There's a lot of things I like about them, but definitely I don't support carrying a weapon, which is a gun, a gun, which is a weapon, in public. It does not make any sense at all. Apart from the fact of I may need to shoot it. Otherwise, it's just an inanimate object. It's just a dead object. I'm just carrying on me. There's no use to it. And fair enough, people can carry objects on them all the time. You see some women with big earrings where they can barely hold their head up because of the weight. You see all kinds of things that people carry on them. Fair enough, right? A big couple of bags of heavy shopping. Most of his shit that they've just bought, or some bags of clothes that they're never going to wear. Fair enough, it makes sense. Okay, they do stuff, But now, but I want to talk about guns here again, just briefly. Okay, I'm not trying to tell people how they should be living or having a go about other countries, because I come from England, Britain, but the place is a hellhole, as I say. So I'm not talking about that from my ignorant British standpoint, talking about the people in America, how people live. Who the hell am I to do so, right? I'm not talking about people's rights. I'm not talking about any of that. But I'm talking about safety, right? Overall safety. I've been told that having an irrational fear, a delusion of guns, is what causes it, and it's fear mongering. I've been told this is fear mongering, to talk about this stuff constantly, spreading my own fear and all this and delusion to people as though it's a thing, when all that does is creates wrong, what do you call it, delusion, basically, just delusion amongst others. It's fear mongering. And it's not good. And I've been given examples by friends of mine about how they've lived the life. They know what it's all about. And I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. And shootings happen, yeah, by crazy people, but they're not happening left and right in every neighborhood. Fair enough, it makes sense, okay. And I've been told that it's because I don't understand and I don't know, and I've also been schooled, if you like. I've been talked to as though they've tried to educate me and tell me that by using logic, by using real stuff that sounds so right, like how I've been given examples about people how we stick together in society, how trust is needed, how we need to trust each other and stuff. A good friend of mine, I won't mention any names, okay, a good friend here was talking about modern society and saying the bottom line of it is trust is a part of modern society, and without it, it would be chaos. And if you were to go to a restaurant, I've been given this example by a friend of mine. Okay, I want to say hi. About if you don't trust the cook or don't trust the chef or the cook in the restaurant, when to not poison your food, that won't be any good, is it? So you trust that they won't poison your food, and the cook also trusts that you're going to pay the money when you're done, and the restaurant owner also trusts that the cook will not burn the restaurant down. Plus, at any time, things could happen. A robber could come in and rob the place at gunpoint, but that could be a rare event. And he goes on to say about laws and cameras and stuff. Okay, Because of this, we have laws, cameras, and trust in civilians, okay, will come to the rescue, etc. And this creates a solid society, and that has trust, that doesn't run away from fear. So this is really strong stuff, right? It really says the trust between the people, not fear-mongering, but trust in one another, brings people together. This is what creates a base foundation for trust between people in society. It has to be done. If there's a lack of trust, a negative way of thinking, and negative language, you could say, and messages going around, then this is what's going to create tension between people, fear, and people living in their own little dark little worlds that end up the crazy ones. So in some way, it's like almost saying that by me having these thoughts, I could be like a delusional person, fear mongering basically, and then people that fear that are basically to blame for there being these violent people in the world. So it's just a very, very strange thing. It's almost like saying you blame the victims of bullying for being pussies and cowards. That's why we have bullies in the world. This kind of thing. Someone's trying to say it's like their fear is what does it. It's again kind of like teaching, and this is where my friend here goes on to say, and I'm not saying the name out of respect, okay, I do respect you, my good friend, but he goes on to say this next thing, kind of calling me a pussy, and I feel it's very, very sad. I know it's kind of in a jokey way, but it's still very, very serious in what he said here. I've been told, I don't know if it's literally me personally, or to anyone, right? For people, yeah. Get this. This is what I've been told. Confront your fears. Hold a gun. Walk in a bad neighborhood and buy a gun from a gang member, etc. Do something illegal for once. Grow some balls, and you will find out real quick what trust is. Loads of laughs, right? LOL, lol. And I'm not going to read the person's name, okay? But this is what someone has typed. Now, it's, in a jokingly way written, okay? But messages are in there, like, about confronting your fears and holding a gun, walking in a bad neighborhood and buying a gun from a gang member, etc. Things like that, Doing something illegal for once, grow some balls, and you will find out real quick what trust is. No, I don't believe that's true. That's too cut and dry. To me, that's cut and dry. That's absolutely black and white there. That's such a simple way of looking at it. In my perspective, I'm just saying, right? I understand the need. I understand this toughness, this macho-ness. I understand this, what needs to be. Yeah, you face life and death. You know what it is, man. Look, there have been tough soldiers. There have been tough gangbangers. There have been real tough, hardened people that have lived that life and learned all what trust is and that, and they've been in it, okay? In fact, hey, as a driver, you probably know what it's like, don't you? On the road, you have to trust it every day. In fact, living in this life, in any of these situations, right? Like you said, even like going in a restaurant and stuff, you've got to trust the cook to cook the food. All of this is trust, right? But this has got nothing to do with guns and that. You can be killed. The mafia used to do it. Gang members do it. Gang members get killed by rival gang or by people within the same gang. Look, about holding a gun, walking in a bad neighborhood. Walk through you're basically saying walk through a jungle. Learn bravery. Learn to be brave. Your fear is the only thing that's beating you. And this is like so bad. This is where it gets fucked up and mixed up, where it's almost like you're chucking my words back at me. Like, because I like things like, when you hear Master Po in the old Kung Fu TV series with David Carradine, when Master Po says fear is the only darkness, right? See, fear, I've always talked about this, fear and confidence, okay? Fear and confidence. They are tools. If you're afraid, if you have a lack of confidence, it can affect your actual outcome of your physical, of what you do in the situation, or what situations you end up in, or put yourself up in, or cause, and then it thus become a victim of, right? So that, like I'm being told here, for example, I'm a fearmonger. Fearmongers make the world a more chaotic place, and then you walk around in that and just constantly spread fear, and that's why we have a chaotic world. So I'm to blame for those people's actions, okay? When I'm saying just simply prevention's better than cure. Not we have a lot of people that can come to the rescue. I'm not saying that Superman's going to come to the rescue. No. I'm saying the bad guy could fucking not do that shit, you know. Right? Take the bomb away from the maniac, you know. You say that's not the point, Richard. Take the idea away from the maniac. And you're not going to do that if you keep spreading fear. I'm asking the fucker to not attack me, but I can't ask the whole world to not attack me, can I? You know what I'm trying to say? You can't expect the whole world to be sane, right? You just can't. And it don't matter. We've got emergency services. Oh, there's not enough police, or there's too many police around here. It's all a bad thing, isn't it? We just don't want fucking criminals. We don't want murderers and violent people. Why should I have to walk through a bad neighbourhood and buy a gun from a gang member? If I was living in the forest, if I was in the Rambo in the jungle, I would want whatever weapon I can get hold of. Or in the survival situations in the forest, I would need weapons to fight off the wild animals. If I was in a gang situation, living in a bad neighbourhood, I may need that. I may need to learn about trust and that, know who's in with me, gangbanger, my homies. I need to know it. Or the soldiers in war, you need to know about that. Who's got your back? Or I know who I can trust. Literally hold that gun with pride, and if anybody fucks with me, and there's a certain language, even when you're not shooting each other, there's a certain, people in prison nowadays, man, you know what trust is, you learn it, all this stuff, we can talk about all this stuff, confidence, courage, but I'm saying at the end of the day, it's all bullshit and BS, it's all bullshit. Just act normal, man. I'm saying act normal. I'm saying bravery, confidence in this, or in something, or fear, it's all just it's thought. Again, delusion. It's all delusion. That is delusion. It's all delusion. The whole thing is delusion. The whole thing, your mind is elsewhere. About, I've got to hold a gun and walk in a bad neighbourhood and buy a gun from a gang member and do something illegal and grow some balls and all this, confront my fears, confront dangerous things. I can practice climbing cliffs without ropes and whatever the hell, without safety things. I can do all kinds of things. If you die, you die. Walk in forests, do all these different things. That makes a man. That makes a hero. You say that, It's like these criminals that tell stories of how they got cuts and slashes, scars all over their body. They lost one eye, they lost a limb. They were fighting in the war, and they'll tell you how tough love is. That's what makes a man. That's what makes a human being. What? That's people coming together, fighting each other with guns. I'm just saying, people coming together in war, whatever, with spears or whatever. I'm just saying, okay, now. It's the same with wild animals then, okay? You might say wild animals, people need to survive in the jungle. Survival has been a part of life. Yes, in fighting, okay? In fighting, you need to be in fucking control. You hear what I'm saying? In fighting, you need to be in control. Your fear will get you killed. Not having that skill will get you killed. Yes, in fighting, in driving a car, you must have control. Right? But we can control ourselves. We can't control the world. We say, right, what's going to randomly happen around us? We don't know when that tiger's going to jump out the bush, or that that soldier's going to, or that person's going to fire a gun. Look into the eyes of the tiger and be brave. You're going to tell me run through the fire, and you'll come out the other side. Come up with all this stuff. I'm putting words in people's mouths now. Once again, my mind twisting people's words. Nobody's hearing what I'm saying. To the point. I'm just saying clearly this one. Oh my! I don't even know how to put this to you. People act a certain way, and I need to talk. talk about my trust levels and fear and all this stuff. I'm not talking about someone I'm facing even in an interaction on a daily basis. I'm saying there's people out there now blowing people's fucking brains out. And there are people out there who are, like me probably, who are a bit nervous, pussies, right? Fearing guns, or paranoid, delusional. And then there's other people that don't give a fuck. There's other people that just don't give a fuck. It's normal. They've never imagined. They're very tough, brave, or they're just never even thinking about this stuff, right? Just like what you may be saying now. And yet, bang, someone just got their fucking head blown off, no matter what it was. And that was just a crazy person who happened to have a gun on them. That's what the final answer is, yeah? The person just happened to have a gun on them. Or wouldn't you rather he didn't have that gun on him? When he decided to go crazy? Beside the point. You're going to say that's beside the point, are you? I need to grow a pair of nuts and walk through a bad neighbourhood and hold a gun and buy a gun from a gang member and all this stuff. And know what it is to live at war. Well, there we are. So you're saying it's all delusional, but yet I need to learn trust and about my own bravery and grow a pair of balls by going into tough situations like that. And then I will learn that things aren't like that. In fact, if you show them you don't give a fuck, you probably won't get shot. Is that what it is? Is that really what it is? What? What about the people that are setting these bombs off and stuff you hear of? Any acts of violence then, and it does mean that. It does mean that. Any acts of violence. Any acts of violence in general. Yes, it could be. People are trying to say, okay, in the world that, I'm not pointing the finger, but certain people are trying to say in the world, right? A lot of people believe, obviously, it seems that the violent acts of the many, and there are too many crazy people nowadays, it seems. I'm not paranoid, there are too many everywhere. No, I'm saying there are. The violent acts of people, okay, have some kind of connection with what everybody else is thinking. Only the delusional paranoid ones, Richard. No, I'm saying, how is whatever's in my mind? I'm thinking about buying my fucking tomatoes from the fucking shop or whatever, and potatoes. Okay? I'm not thinking about that. I might be the most paranoid person about guns, but at that moment I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about tomorrow's boxing match I'm going to have. I was quite brave, whatever it was, Or I was thinking about, it was my birthday, I was just going to go out and get myself something because everybody else forgot me or whatever. I was just going down the road shopping and someone just blows my fucking head off, or someone shoots somebody right dead in front of me there on the road. I wonder why. Does it really matter the reason? If that person's crazy, psychotic, you may say it does matter. Yeah, it does, yeah, fair enough. The reason and what it's about. You've got to look to the root causes of things, Richard. You're a fearmonger. No, listen, right? You point the finger everywhere else, but you never point the finger at the gun, the person wielding the gun. But I have to have sympathy for you in two ways. I don't need your sympathy, Richard. You'll be like, I can only say. I will say, right, there's two things here, okay? One, the ideas that people grow up in and what they've been through have affected them so much in their psyche that this is what they believe. If they've grown up in gangs or whatever it is in tough situations, they're going to live like that. They live like that. So so you'll definitely have your view of the world. The second thing, I just forgot what I was going to say, the most important one, which is the first point, but basically it's like, look, the person, I basically just said, right, does the reason matter, right? Yeah, can we point the finger, this or that? The point is, we can't point the finger because we didn't even know who it would be. We just don't know, right? Who would do it? I don't know how you can take the blame away. Like, see, you've got new ideas coming up in the world, political correctness, all kinds of things going on, where you say, like, this is not classed as insanity anymore, that's not classed as insanity anymore, so you can't even say there's something wrong with his mind. Or he went through a lot of pressure, went through a lot of pressure, Or it was computer games that inspired, the computer games that influenced him, or it was something else. He was high on drugs, or something. He just broken up from a fucking from his girlfriend, from his relationship, or he was money problems, a fallout at work with the manager. You know, he used to be a soldier. Whatever fucking reason. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter what reason at the end of the day. As such, from the point, if the person didn't have a gun on him, that's the thing. You don't say that you've got all kinds of people in society with all kinds of mental states, and you just put any weapons in their hand, like kids in a classroom. You just let the kids, little children, hold knives and dangerous objects. They've all got different personalities, they're erratic, you don't know. So it's better to keep them all the same, in that respect, I'm just saying. Not in every way, I'm just saying, but it's better to just keep the danger out of the class, keep certain things out, you know what I mean? And keep them normal, Keep them all, keep a safe atmosphere, So it's I don't even know how to explain things. It's I should shut up, right? But it's to people that won't get it, I'm just saying, look, you got, I don't know how to get it out. So yeah, so you got these people. Yeah, I agree. Fear can spread negative messages, fear mongering, and telling them that the world's a dangerous place, and telling them that there's danger everywhere, and you've got to be careful, and you've got to duck because you could get shot. That's not a good thing. But facts are what's real. You might not like the facts. You've got to realize and own up to reality. This is why you got Richard Dawkins and people talking about reality. I'm not talking going against any religions or anything here. I'm just saying like people think he is, which he's not. But he's talking about seeing reality for what it is, not just making up stuff. You've got to see. We're not. It's like scientists. They're not trying to all say that there's no God and things like that. It might exist. We don't know. Okay, but I'm saying you've got to study things for what they are now. So what I'm trying to say, the logic is right. These people, they may have psychological things. Maybe they need help. Maybe they need some care. I believe there's a lot of care that we can do. A lot less fear mongering and a lot less. We can do in the way of negative communication. We can try and help them rather than sending people to counsellors. They may need to go to counsellors and psychiatrists, but if we were more positive with each other, and you said, well, trust is a big part of that, Richard. Yeah, but where does the idea of trust come from? Trust comes about, and bravery comes about, and things like that. Being bold comes about from the fact that there's a fucking negative problem. Of course, we're going to have to be positive and strong in some ways to deal with negativity. Patient and humble and patient. The police officer is going to be patient when he's dealing with an absolute psychopath who's about to chuck someone off a building, right? Patient. Calm in his demeanour when he's speaking. He can't be erratic, right? It takes a certain kind of thing. Trust, yes. And then also strength to actually fight if you need to as well. All these things you need at certain points. But that's just an overall covering the whole thing. It's a blurred statement just to tell someone to grow a pair of balls and live on the edge and that. In certain situations. Now, you may say that might be good in certain situations, but in certain situations, no. There's different situations and different kinds of situations, different kinds of people. So we can't do everything, but we've all got to try to put a good enough message out to each other, which doesn't involve grow a pair of balls, run through the fire, and and this or that. It's everything's okay, everything's calm. That's why the guy's holding a weapon. What? No, everything's calm, everything's safe. It's a beautiful world. Right? Love yourself. What's going on? Talk to them about positive ideas in life. Try to inspire each other, etc. With some kind of constant, basic kind of compassionate counselling with people. That's what it is. And you wouldn't have to be thinking about all this other stuff. And they need to have it in themselves. They need to have it more so understanding and have trust in themselves. But the problem is they're not going to. The problem is we can't have a perfectly harmonious world like that. It's like a wild jungle. So welcome to the jungle, fun and games. Guns N' Roses again. Yeah, kind of fitting in it. Yeah, but and such. But I'm just saying, the thing is, they're still going to be going around with guns. There's still going to be people with guns that could fire those guns, who are ready to fire those guns, and who will fire those guns. There's going to be those people. They didn't even know it themselves, maybe in that moment. But that moment, that was it. They just pulled the gun out and shot it. So it's random acts, and we can't always fear random acts just happening. Fair enough. But if you're walking through the canyons or whatever, and there's cliffs around you, or when you're walking, even your parents must have told you, my parents did, when you were a child, be careful when you're walking like in certain places, or like scaffolding, or workers on the building sites. Things could fall down. You never know, right? That's a delusional fear, is it? It's like irrational, delusional fear. Is that what you're going to tell me? Walking through the canyons. When I walk to work in this part of the world, I have to walk through these fucking palm trees, and there's coconuts that could literally fall on my head. I'm like, it's real. I've seen coconuts fall down. They hit with force when they hit that fucking ground. None's fallen on me, I promise you. When you're crossing the street, a car could just come out driving over the green light. That does happen. I see it all the time, actually. But I'm just saying, here a lot all the time. But I'm just saying, you can't live in paranoia and fear. But what I'm saying is you would rather these dangers not be around. Wouldn't you? I would feel safer walking down the street where nobody's holding a gun, as opposed to people holding a gun. You've got very good lessons, the people out there that are trying to give lessons on confidence in people and trust that nothing bad's going to happen. And you've got to spread that message to people and get people to understand and have trust in them and change their way of thinking. The psychological thing is very, very important, and I agree with the whole thing. But because the world's not like that, and because there's all this violence going on, and because there are so many shootings, and the stats show that there are a lot of shootings, because of that, I can't just sit back and be a fucking and do nothing about it. My fear, you say fear, is it fear? Fear is fucking you say to win a war you've got to become more. Rambo says, right? Fear is what drives the fucking fighter. Fear is what makes a person violent, what makes a person a fighter in the first place. A big, brave, tough person doesn't need to learn martial arts either. All the same thing. That's what my whole passion's always been about. See, me being a pussy, if you like, me growing up in and being around certain kinds of danger. If you're talking gun crime and stuff, it's even more dangerous. Or in a war zone or things like that. The more of that you're facing, the more of a fighter you better become. You better be, whether you call it delusional or whatever, but you've got to be very able to understand and fucking register the violence. And you may say, no, Richard, to know violence, you actually got to know where there's no violence as well, because you're going to confuse yourself. No. Shake the hands of the gang member, buy a gun from all this stuff, and it's not about that. You got to live in that side to know what this side's like. I need to go through war to know what life is. That's what people are telling me. Sorry to tell you, Richard, but that's the truth. No. I'm sorry, no. You need to risk that. You need to live and almost die, or be shot in the head and have a coma and then wake up from it to know what life is. All this stuff, all these gangbangers, these people talking about, or war, people that have been in war or whatever, they've got scars on, they talk about how they're strong and now they know what life is. Bullshit, you didn't have to do that. And you didn't have to be harmed by those other people doing that to you either. It just happened. It was unfortunate. You feel good, you feel tough when you feel like you got something from it. If you didn't before that, it's like learn from other people's mistakes as well as your own. Learn, just see the world and say, look, you know what? Why can't I be logical and sane? I don't want that to happen to me. I want to stay sane and focused. You can find peace. Peace is right here, right now. What's not making you peaceful on the inside? I'm totally peaceful. I'm not deluded. What's not making someone peaceful on the inside is all these ideas and confusion, all these ideas about things. That's what it is. That they are under attack, or that they need to be on the attack constantly. The soldier, the fighter. It's almost like was it ninjas? Was it what do you call it? I nearly said delusional soldier, delusional universal soldier. Where the other one still thinks he's like living in the war and he's not. Dolph Lundgren. They constantly feel they're at battle. It's like that's what you get in prison. That's what you get at war, in country, in society in general. People constantly think they're at battle, even when they're talking. Even like now, I'm speaking this, and someone listening to that, whether you're for what I'm saying or you're against it, you still may feel, whoever you are, that I'm putting my point across and it's a battle, and you agree with some of it, but some of it you don't, and you're kind of offended by this or that, and you want to go back and forth like a constant war. Who's speaking over who? It's not the point. Just put the weapons down. Be loving and compassionate towards people. Well, that doesn't make a safe world, Richard. Trust. It comes from the hard, dangerous side of living. And sorry, putting a danger factor there. I don't see how that adds to the peace factor. Yeah, soldiers at times of war, people at times of crisis. Yeah, they pull together and they get stronger and they learn and they learn the value and they learn how to put together and how to actually be more positive and deflect it as such. That's true. Okay, I get that and I'll say that there, yeah. But why couldn't they do it in the first place? Why can't all the people in the prison just have a hug in a normal way and and just be friends and just be, why not? Why can't we just get along, Yeah, why? Because they're fucked up in the damn head. You need some kind of education. You need some kind of fucking motivation. Pussy. That's pussy. That's weakness right there. Pussy. You're pussy to actually be going up to someone, It's like the guy was such a warrior. The guy was such a confident, brave man. He drove up to a fist fight in a tank covered in armour, loads of guns, bombs, swords, all the weapons you can imagine. To a fucking, it wasn't even an argument. The guy said, I want to have a few words with you this afternoon. And the guy was like so nervous, he came out and showed up. He was like, fuck it, I'm the most brave, tough guy. Actually, the guy was just going to wish him a happy birthday. The tougher you are, it makes you tough, yeah. Living on the edge, being tough, that makes you tough, right? They're so weak they can't face themselves. They can't live peacefully without some kind of fucking motivation, some kind of that. These people have the fear in them, the delusional fear in them. It's not me. I'm saying that they are deluded and deluded. Okay? I didn't put the idea in them. You can't blame me. People can't blame me for it, right? For the insane, crazy ones out there. But everybody else, it's how can we be responsible people? We're allowing things to go on in society. That's why you get all these kind of crazy ideas. That's why you get all these kind of homosexual parades, people walking down the road buck naked, and transsexual kids wanting to change their sex and stuff. That's why you get drug addiction and stuff. No, it's down to the individual. I know, but I'm saying we're letting these ideas go around as though it's normal. And you, not me. I don't fucking allow. I don't agree with it. I don't have to. I'm not a slave. I'm just saying that. Yeah, but no, people out there, they let the ideas go around. They're what do you call it? Enablers. That's what it is. Yeah. So you're letting it be the normal thing. So the idea becomes the norm. So same with guns. So basically, what you end up with is that, and you end up with more shootings. And you blame someone who's against that. I'm against shootings, and people turn around and say, well, so am I. You're not, because if you allow guns, so you got to trust the kids, trust the kids with dangerous things, otherwise they can never be trusted, It's like, I don't know, I don't know what people are trying to say. Why do we make laws then over anything? In what situation should we be careful? You can take any situation from your own mind right now about a situation that you think there should be laws or some controls over, or from the stats and what you've seen or whatever it is, what is, or you can take anything where you know that there's some kind of danger, thing involved, and you could say why you agree with it and why it's right that that thing should be controlled and watched, and then ask yourself, how is that any different? Someone else, lots of people online, if you make a video about it, lots of people will start arguing with you. We've got different views, yeah, but there are people who will start telling you that, no, that's paranoia in your mind, that's delusional. Always this way. The only thing is, which ones are and which ones aren't. Like, I'm talking about guns. People pointing guns and firing guns. That's all there is to it. Why should I walk in a bad neighbourhood? Why is it a bad neighbourhood? Well, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of why the fuck is someone why don't everybody right this minute just be peaceful and normal? Just be respectful and polite to people and friendly and nice. Why not? Well, some people are crazy, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, why can't we all just be respectful in general? Just, let's say the people that are more sane, right? I'm not talking about guns here for this part. I'm not talking about guns for this part. I'm not talking about guns. I'm talking about just this part here. I'm just saying now about me being told about holding a gun, confronting my fears. There's lots of different kinds of fear. Holding a gun, was it walking in a bad neighbourhood and buying a gun from a gang member and doing something illegal and growing a pair of balls and that? What does that mean, Like I'm some coward because I don't walk the street where people want to act fucked up, You don't face life, Richard, the way things are. There's a difference between the way things are and the way we're making things, is what I'm trying to say. Society is a bunch of made-up fucking bullshit. I'm not part of society. You understand that? I'm an absolute fucking recluse. I'm outside. Like I've told you, I'm literally, as I say, like the Tao Te Ching, philosophy. I'm Lao Tzu, the philosopher. That's what I'm like, fucking hermit. I was recluse. I avoid bullshit. I'm living in modern times, technology and that, but that's my personal belief. I'm not part of made up bollocks crap, right? So I'm just saying, sorry to swear and stuff, but I'm just saying, okay, face the reality. No, it's not the reality. People walking around gangbanging, shooting each other dead, it's not reality. They're just acting that way, People saluting the flag and wearing this uniform for this situation, for this event. That's all made up. Languages that are written this way or those characters are written that way. It's all made up. The way we're speaking now, we're moving our mouth muscles and muscles. That's just made up. We're just making it up now. It doesn't exist. But we're making it up to be. The problem is we don't know how we're treating each other. We're not realising how we are behaving. Reality is just this planet Earth, this ball, or whether it's flat or a ball, or whatever, in space. Here, and that's it. We're here. We've got everything. We've got the air. We've got the natural environment. We've got the food and water. That's it. We've got a body. We can take care of ourselves. What the hell is a gun? If you never invented a gun, it wouldn't exist. You understand? A flag, a logo, a symbol. It's all made up stuff. And I'm told about my fears, and I've got to do this and that, and walk around. I've got to walk around in this part of the made-up world. I've got to go into the Matrix, accept the Matrix program for what it is. The VR world, this is reality, this is part of reality now, and it just is the way things are. This robot is a citizen. You've got to accept that this is a living being, the same as a human being, because they have the same rights now. Otherwise, you're called a racist. Things like this. It's like, what? I swear they even made one robot, didn't they? There's one robot isn't there that was made into an actual citizen, first robotic citizen or something, was it? Come on, man. Come on now. Nothing more to say. That's just ridiculous. You want me to say, a fruit is a bottle of water, or is a hand grenade is an apple. It's like, what do you want to tell me? It's like, I have to walk around with everybody's bullshit, face it, and be brave. We're talking about bravery now. That's the warrior, which comes from cowardism, but you learn to be strong to fight through it, and then you somehow a hero, tough. Overcome my fear, yeah. I killed 100 soldiers, yeah. Not me, I'm saying, for example, if you were to kill 100 soldiers, yeah, you feel tough now. I faced it all. I did amazing things. I climbed a mountain. Yeah. No, you didn't. You just moved your body with this muscle at one time. You slept on a crevice there at one time. The next following morning, you moved your muscles and you went along. You can walk miles. You can swim miles. You can climb a mountain. You didn't even fucking do it, really. It's just in the mind. How far have I walked in my life so far? You know? It's all illusions. I've jumped from an aeroplane. Oh, I've done something big in my life. It may have had an emotional thing, a memory in your mind has given you. In fact, nothing really happened. Nothing happened at all. You was falling through the air. You know, it just so happened that the ground was that far a distance from you. You know. You see, everything is nothing and nothing is everything, as I'm saying. I'm full of bullshit now, am I again, yeah? You know. You're sitting in a cave or you're sitting in a house. The house is made with bricks, but you just call it a certain thing. You use materials to make things around you. We don't see this illusion, what we're living in. But we should be smart. People don't know what is the real world. About this, that and the other. And just grow a pair of balls, man. Otherwise, if you don't have trust, you might get your head blown off sort of attitude. That's ridiculous, you know. That's ridiculous. In my opinion, I'm not being funny. I'm being told I'm ridiculous with fear-mongering. We're the creators of this world. We're not the world. We're the creators of what shit is in society. So whether I'm wrong or right, my fear-mongering. So I'm to blame here. I say everybody should grow a brain, grow a pair of balls, grow a brain. You know, everybody to learn what you're doing, to understand what you're doing. Walking around with a gun. What? Walking around with your rights. What? Walking around like you want to, or these idiots who want to fire a gun and shoot the crazy ones, you know, they are the ones to blame. Why'd they have a gun on them? They were too crazy to own a gun, right? Because a gun's not dangerous, right? So they were too dangerous. They were too crazy to own one, right? We wish those guns weren't in those people's hands, don't we? Right? And we're back in that full circle again. So we can't ban everyone from owning it because not everybody's crazy. Well, don't you believe? I mean, maybe they should have some like tests put in place. I don't know if there are like mandatory tests where you have to get a very high score before you can buy a gun or something. Like, you know, you have to answer a load of questions on guns. What do you think they are? But who's going to make these lists? Probably the fucking people again, right? My God, who are more concerned with their rights and their culture than actual logic. They put all kinds of questions on there, you know. You know, was Obama white, black, mixed, from planet Zog or what? They're going to ask you, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, what? What's that got to do with anything? Oh, you can't say that, man. That's part of our heritage. What? What ground are we standing on? I thought it was the yellow brick road. Now they're telling me it's the red brick road. It's like, what? You know, it's like absolute chaos of the minds of the people. They're too lost and confused to actually work out what they're doing. I think that's the bottom line. So just expect more shootings probably in the news. I expect to see more. I don't want to see it, but that's what I do expect to see. Probably more shootings, more things like that bound to happen. And just imagine if those killers didn't have guns in their hands. They weren't able to get hold of them. Or it was more harder, you know? More harder to get hold of those weapons. It'd be more harder for those killings to have taken place, regardless of how much trust and love and all that you've got for people, or just totally being brave in yourself, calm, with no delusion, and I've lived on the edge myself, you know. I've crossed every road without fear that I'm going to get run over, because it's the way you carry yourself. And everybody can see as I cross the street that I'm a calm person. And all of the drivers will forever stay calm. They're not in a hurry in their lives. If I slow down, they'll also not be in a hurry in their lives and be erratic. All I'm doing is putting words in people's mouths now. repeating over and over again, right? You think it's a safer world with guns? You think the world's going to be safer as long as you are the warrior? The world's a safe place as long as we have heroes and Superman. I remember Jet Li, when Jet Li was asked about his movie Hero, when a person interviewed Jet Li, the martial arts actor. I'm a massive fan of. I've always been a fan of for a long time. He's great for what he does. But it's like someone a long time ago, years ago, interviewed him. They asked him some questions. They interviewed Jet Li about his movie called Hero. It wasn't the best movie in my opinion. It was okay. And they asked Jet Li. They said, "Would you like to meet a real hero, meet a true hero in life?" And Jet Li responded in something along the lines of, Jet Li said no, he would be very nervous. Quite cryptically, philosophically, he said he would be nervous if he saw a real hero. It would mean that the world's really in danger, Imagine it. Yeah, You see a load of police outside your window. What's going on across the street? Something must have happened, something bad, Okay. So you're going to turn it round now and say, that's me, is it? Yeah, Richard, you're so paranoid, you're talking about this and that all the time. That makes us worried. It's not about me fear-mongering. I'm afraid I'm going to make you afraid and what's going on. And, there's the boogeyman. There's the son of Michael Myers is around here. I've heard ghost stories around here. Did you hear? Is it a myth? Is it real? And everybody gets nervous and these kids scare those kids and all the kids in the school are scared and the parents have to say, calm down, there's nothing wrong. Oh, shit, it's getting out of hand now. They believe there's something going on. There's nothing going on. I'm not talking about making up some bullshit. I'm talking about the facts, dear, that there's real shootings going on and there's people actually holding guns. You can see the guns and they load them as well. And there's people actually firing guns. This is a real thing. It's not in my mind. Get it? It's not in my mind. So, what's that about? What's that about? What is that about? Why is the need? What's the need? Why do you need to carry guns around? What is it? Without all those other things, people saying that they're going hunting, playing sports and that. Yeah, okay, you're saying you're not doing that. So you're walking on the street. What are you doing with guns then? Parading your rights to have one. And what does that gun stand for about your rights? The history, we've had it for... Okay, yeah, for what? What was it created for? Even not for hunting and sport, then what was it created for? The handgun or the machine gun or the rifle, whatever it is, the pistol. What was it created for? To fire at a target and destroy the target, all right? Whether it's hurting someone or shooting someone, killing, whatever it is. It's the fire of the thing, right? That's what it is. It was always that. Self-defense even. Yeah, okay. It's a warfare thing. I understand logic for self-defense. If the police can't get there, so I get that. Certain points. But I'm saying, so you're walking around with this gun to to show your rights and stuff. So what else? What else is it for? Apart from that, if to not be possibly used, then why are you carrying it? Just for nothing, right? So why are you obsessed with people doing just for the freedom of the rights so they can do what they want to do? Yeah, I get that. Anyone who want freedoms in a lot of things, you get some Christian people who say, well, that's wrong, we don't want to feel like that. We need to understand that there's authority in the world, and then there's a Father, a God in heaven, and He's, even allows us to have laws of the land, which are constantly changing. We've got different laws as well. It's all corrupt. Doesn't make any sense. Some of these laws go against certain beliefs as well, like Christianity and things, so the Ten Commandments and stuff like that. So I don't even know what that's about. Stuff. It's like. And the guns, oh my God, and you're following people. Yeah. I don't know which way to explain it. Okay, I really don't. But how can I not talk so long about? It's not because I'm an ignorant fucking arsehole. It's not because I'm some ignorant, stupid British guy who's never had looked down the barrel of a shotgun or all this nonsense about I should be brave and that. It's not about that, okay? And I'm not living it. I'm criticising America. No way. The same way as I don't like homosexuals and that. You call me a phobic and all this. Fair enough, phobia. Yeah, I don't agree with certain things. That's my take on it. Fair enough, right? Damn fucking fair enough, right? But well, it better be. If it's not fair for me to think what I think, why is it fair for you to think what you think? But I'm going back to what I'm saying. Reality is reality, no matter what. Whoever's wrong, right? Yeah, but going when it comes to with guns, though, right? I care for my fellow human beings who are putting themselves in danger. I agree with all those things. I agree with like we should have trust in people, and like it's not the thing, but it's like how we treat each other and things about a certain level of bravery. I agree with that too, and having and just being peaceful in ourselves, but and trusting in others, solidarity, and then coming together and things like I do. But it's like at the same time, it's a crazy erratic world. We've got to be realistic because people are not fucking doing that. You can't just give a load of dangerous objects to kids in a school. Or whatever. You've got to have some kind of control, some kind of rules. There's got to be some kind of control. You see, there has to be. You've got to be so. You've got to like take it away from it. You just can't allow. In my opinion, you can't allow everybody to be walking around with those guns. In my opinion, I'm saying every maniac. What you're essentially saying. By everyone wanting their rights and their freedom to do so. All the adults in the room drinking their alcohol, right? They say, it's okay, man. Everybody should be treated the same. So you're not protecting that little child. And now the child's taking drugs, or the child's drinking alcohol and smoking. The child's holding a dangerous object because everybody's got to be treated the same. That's what it's like. These maniacs of society, these twisted, crazy bastards of society, the ones who are doing the shootings, the ones who are abnormal. Most people are not crazy, right? But everybody has the right to have a gun. We want our rights. That's kind of selfish, don't you think? To the victims too, because now you got. I know it's those crazy bastards' fault. It's those people's problem who do it. Why should you have your rights taken away or have your? Fuck the rights, right? People give you rights. You're a human being, man. You're born whether they accept you or not. Like I accept you or not, even with what you do, you still exist, right? It's your life. Respect yourself, right? Trust in yourself, for fuck's sake. Not trust some maniac. Everybody's okay. But what I'm saying is, okay, yeah, I know there's that level. I understand what you're saying, but you've got to look. You were the one putting the gun in those maniacs' fucking hands. And people that are out of control, almost as though you are the one pulling the trigger, right? Almost. You're not the ones to blame for pulling the trigger. But these fucking idiots have got guns. I would rather, if I was a responsible parent, I would rather not have people smoking and drinking in the house, taking drugs, or parading buck naked, fucking doing sexual fucking acts. Anything that's negative, okay, taking drugs, whatever it is, I would not want that to be done in public. I would not want that done around the house where there are kids. You see, be responsible as a responsible adult. I wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to be swearing and shouting and fighting a couple, a mother and a father fighting. That sets a bad example for the kids. The kids learn from that, okay? Now, what you're going to tell me now is about trust issues. If we don't show trust to people in general in society, it's gonna give a bad. I'm answering myself again, right? I know. Yeah, it's gonna like give a bad impression, get a bad message to those people, and they're gonna think we don't trust them, and they're gonna become more like this or that. So if you don't trust them, they're gonna become more violent or this or that. Yeah, whatever you want to say, right? So because we don't trust people, that's why they become criminal gangbangers and this or that. Come off it now. I say fuck whoever trusts you or don't. Be normal in yourself. But you allowing things to go on. You're allowing things that can change the minds of people. Intoxication, weapons, whatever it is. So you allow kids. You allow the people that can't be trusted. You allow the ones. It's like, you're not going to ban it from just those people, right? That wouldn't be fair. You're going to ban it from everybody. And see that you're not going to ban water. You're not going to ban food. You're not going to ban oxygen, the things we need. Ban shelter. They're doing that. They're banning fucking homes and where people can live. But it's like, how about, they're not allowing people to have the basics of survival in life. But a fucking gun shouldn't be the basic survival in life unless we're living in times of war or the Wild West where there's shootings going on all over the damn place. A gun should only, weapons for combat and combat in general, self-defense. It should only be a necessary thing if we're living in times of danger and violence and we need it. In terms of weapons, let's say guns, okay? You see? You need a map in the forest if you're lost. So you need a map when you're lost, right? You need, yeah, you need in the jungles, you need a compass to find your way out. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what you need lost at sea. Right tools for the right jobs, damn it. Walking around carrying a gun, talking about your rights. I can walk around swinging a fucking I can carry a fucking anchor from a ship. Oh man, this, this held my boat to the side. Talking about my life. Come back down to planet Earth, man. Walking around in a space astronaut outfit in the street. It's like, you crazy? Walking down the road with some chainsaw, and it's the same thing. You've got to see some logic there. I'm going to stop this one. Thanks for watching. Take care now.